Welcome to Home Field Advantage, SFA's only home for sports nationally, locally, and on campus. I'm your host, Bobby Morrow. On this week's edition, we'll be covering the Rugby World Cup, SFA football, the Cowboys' personal issues. We'll have SFA's own Demi Payne in the studio, and we'll look further into ESPN here on campus. All that and then some coming your way on Home Field Advantage. Houston Texans find a winning recipe to beat their rival Titans. Houston bounced back from an embarrassing 44-26 loss against the Dolphins last week with a 20-6 victory against the Titans. Despite missing Arian Foster, who suffers from an injury with a torn Achilles, the Texans' DeAndre Hopkins and J.J. Watt both came out with a boom to put the Texans on top. J.J. Watt tied a career high with 9 quarterback hits and added 2.5 sacks, including one where he caused a fumble that the Texans recovered early in the fourth quarter. And DeAndre Hopkins put Houston on top in the second quarter with an amazing 21-yard touchdown catch. The win leaves the team in second in the AFC South.
The Heat rallies from a 21-point second-half deficit as Rockets failed to win another game. Last night's loss against the Miami Heat keeps the Rockets on a losing streak of 0-3. The Rockets are hurting and haven't resembled anything close to a contender. Miami was down 65-44 early in the second half. However, the Heat outscored Houston 65-24 the rest of the way. Marcus Thornton scored 21 points for Houston, and James Harden had only 16 on 2 for 15 shooting. The Rockets have dropped each of their first 3 games by exactly 20 points, each which drops them to number 29 in the league and tied for last in their conference and division.
This weekend saw the final of the 2015 Rugby World Cup, hosted by England. After the end of a long and hard 6 weeks, New Zealand and Australia were the 2 remaining teams who battled it out in the final in London for the right to become world champions. Defending champions and tournament favorites, New Zealand dominated possession but failed to take advantage in the opening stages. Yet 2 tries either side of halftime gave them a 21-3 lead. Australia fought back to get to 21-17, but their tired legs couldn't handle the All Blacks as New Zealand scored late points to win 34-17 and become the first ever country to win the Rugby World Cup on 3 separate occasions. New Zealand will defend their crown in Japan in 2019.
For the second week in a row, the Michigan Wolverines face yet another do-or-die situation against the Minnesota Golden Gophers, but the outcome was favoring the Wolverines this week. The Gophers had the ball on the Michigan 1-yard line with 19 seconds left in the fourth quarter when the audible was called for Minnesota quarterback Mitch Liner to check from a run to a pass. That play took 17 seconds off the clock and the pass was incomplete, giving the trailing Gophers only 2 seconds to beat the 6 into Wolverines. Minnesota attempted a QB sneak but Michigan's defense stuffed Liner at the line of scrimmage, giving Jim Harbaugh and the Wolverines another Big Ten victory, 29-26.
What better way to end the MLB season than with some extra inning drama that would give the Kansas City Royals their first World Series title since 1985. The Royals were down 2-0 on the top of the 9th, but a leadoff walk to Lorenzo Cain and an RBI double by Eric Hosmer, followed by Hosmer making a daring play to score, tied up the game and sent it into extras. The extra innings were a battle until in the 12th inning when the Royals drove in 5 runs to seal their victory and officially claim their title as world champions.
College football never seems to disappoint, and this weekend was no different. The Miami Hurricanes were in Durham, North Carolina on Saturday to take on the Duke Blue Devils for their 8th game of the year. It was a competitive game throughout, and when the fourth quarter began, it seemed as though both teams refused to lose, which led to a combined 31-point quarter from both teams. With 6 seconds left, the Blue Devils sent a squib kick to the Canes, which was fielded at the 25-yard line. 8 laterals and 49 seconds later, Corn Elder scored for Miami on what turned out to be a play that will go down in history. The final score, Miami 30, Duke 27.
SFA's football team played an impressive game this past Saturday as they beat Incarnate Word 55-21 at homecoming. The Lumberjacks had 443 yards of total offense, passing for 265 and rushing for 178. SFA converted 50% of its third down opportunities. The defense held Incarnate Word to just 281 yards of total offense. This will be SFA's 3rd straight win as the Lumberjacks improved to 3-5 on the year and 3-3 in the Southland Conference play. The next game will be November 7th at 2:30 p.m. at Central Arkansas.
The Houston Cougars improved to 8-0 after a shutout victory against the Vanderbilt Commodores. The Cougars outscored the Commodores in a final score of 34-0. The Cougars converted 21 points off of turnovers, the last being a 50-yard interception return for a touchdown by cornerback William Jackson III. Houston is currently ranked number 18 in the nation in the top 25. The next game will be Saturday, November 17th at 2:30 p.m. against the Cincinnati Bearcats.
When we return, we'll go to the studio with ESPN3 here at SFA. Stick around, this is Home Field Advantage. ESPN recently built studios here on campus to ensure that all of our home games air on ESPN3 or the Watch ESPN app. Plenty of the students from Home Field Advantage work for them, so we decided to take you all into the studios inside of William R. Johnson Coliseum.
Yep. One of the major components that accentuate the SFA's lumberjack pride is sports. Fans can keep up with scores and standings through social media, newspapers, magazines, and local television. SFA is now the first institution in Southland Conference to produce ESPN3 telecasts for all home football, basketball, soccer, and volleyball games on a national level. ESPN3 is ESPN's live digital 24-hour multi-platform sports network, which delivers more than 4,300 global sports events annually. All thanks to Corbin Pate.
And I began to pick up phones and dial and email and beat doors down until I could figure out how we could get a partnership.
After the approval of the collaboration, a meeting with Department Chair of Mass Communications, Dr. John Hendricks, took place to plan on how students can be involved with production.
3 feet maybe.
The number one thing out of all of this is student experience.
And then he'll plug in the cameras, and so they'll pop up right here, and then you go and click the volleyball Lamar, and then open on control panel. And when you click that, this pops up.
Dr. Hendricks explained that the collaboration between ESPN, the athletics department, and the mass communication department will provide students with real-world, practical experience at sports broadcasting. Students who take part of the production will have helped produce programming that will be aired on national television.
It's more than that. You two stay here since for the most of the season you guys have been over there, so you guys can stay here. You need to sit by Audra and you need to learn the replay.
The technical director might be stationed at the Johnson Coliseum, but the home games can be broadcasted elsewhere.
Nacogdoches, tonight's action, Southland Conference Volleyball, Lamar Cardinals against host Stephen F. Austin Lady Jacks.
Okay, great job, Greg. I'm going to cut that up and I'll be back in touch with you in just a second.
Okay, sure deal.
Stephen F. Austin is also one of only 50 schools in Division I athletics to have this partnership in the entire country.
And by the time Mass Comm students graduate, they will already have experience in working directly for ESPN. For Home Field Advantage, I'm Fili Galindo.
Welcome back. My good friend and fellow athlete, NCAA record holder Demi Payne joins us today in the studio. So thank you for coming in the studio with us today.
Yeah, definitely.
So I have a couple of questions for you. So what brought you to SFA, this small Nacogdoches town?
Well, after I had my little girl Charlie, I just really wanted to be closer to home and be near my family. And actually, the coach at SFA, he's like a longtime family friend, so it was like perfect.
Cool, cool, cool. So you mentioned Charlie as your daughter. I know all about her, but but okay. So tell me how you juggled that, and also I heard that you are on the president's list for getting a 4.0. Tell me how you juggle that as well as, you know, a daughter and a fiance, and, you know, just how do you do it? Just tell me how you do it. Oh my God.
Yeah, it gets really difficult at times, but I think I just go with the flow, and whatever happens, happens. And if there's a problem, I attack it, and I just don't freak out. You know, if I freak out, that's when everything starts falling apart. So.
Yeah, definitely. So we're definitely on the same track team, and we both have the same coach, but I love Coach McCown, she loves Coach McCown, everybody loves Coach McCown. But anyway, so you obviously pole vault. So what's your PR, and what meet was it at?
My PR is 15.7½, and I jumped that at New Mexico.
It was indoor,
Indoors,
right?
yeah.
Yeah. So what would be your favorite track meet that you've ever been to?
Probably New Mexico, because I jumped the highest there, but being in Eugene and winning a national championship was just like amazing.
Out
like
of this world,
it was
yeah.
the coolest moment of my life.
Definitely.
Besides having Charlie.
Oh, well, yeah.
But I mean, not having her because that was awful. But afterwards.
You know what? Yeah,
Yeah.
we know what you mean. We know what you mean. What about China? You went to Beijing. How was that experience? I know you didn't do as well as you wanted to, but like overall, you were in freaking China. Like how?
Yeah. I mean, it was a really good experience, like you said, and I didn't do as well as I wanted to, but I mean, I was surrounded by such amazing athletes, and I think seeing those athletes on that level really made me realize that I need to be working a little harder, and next time around, I'm going to be ready, and I'm going to make sure that I do well.
So next time around, so does that mean Olympics? Is that what you're
Oh, yeah.
Is that what you're shooting for, the Olympics?
Yeah.
Heck yeah, dude. That's awesome. Anyway, so is there anything you do like before track meets that I guess is just like your thing you have to do before a meet? It's like your superstition or like a ritual you do?
I take a lot of ice baths, and it's usually just before a meet, but it makes me feel like it rejuvenates my legs. So
Like the day before?
The day before, yeah.
That's basically
So that's
it. Like,
about it. Yeah, I mean, I listen to music, but nothing like
nothing in
out of the
particular.
ordinary.
Like one song you listen
No.
to. You don't take a lot of nothing. You don't. Never mind. I know you drink. Okay, we drink Red Bull before.
Yeah,
track
no,
meets.
I do drink Red Bull.
You have to have.
I
Red
have
Bull.
a Red
Wait,
Bull.
What flavor?
Well, they have the new ones now. I really like the red one.
The red one, the cranberry. Dude,
Yeah.
Okay, the cranberry one's perfect because it's what.
Yeah, no,
I
it's
already know
awesome.
that, but whatever. Okay, so, I guess what else? I don't. Okay, no, I freaking okay. Walking around campus, like, do you get stares? Do you get people like, oh my God, you're Demi Pan? Can I talk to you? Can I have a picture with you?
I mean, I do, and it's really weird because I'm like, I guess I wasn't expecting that when I came back, and then, I mean, I get people who ask, like, take pictures with me, and I'm like, yeah, but it's crazy, it really is, but it's awesome at the same time.
Oh, definitely,
and,
definitely.
I mean, I want to soak it up while I've got it, because I know, you know, it's not always going to be there.
Yeah. So I don't know, like, I guess, what's your, like, has anyone, like, really stood out to you? I guess, like, asking for a picture. Has one person really stuck out to you, like, that is really, like, I guess you've motivated them a lot? How? Like,
I don't know. There's been a few. I think it's the little kids that really get me because they're really looking to me as like a role model. And it's crazy because at the beginning of this, I wasn't trying to be a role model. I just wanted to come out, make a comeback, and show those people who didn't believe in me that, hey, I'm back. Like, I'm ready to do this, you know? But along the way, like, I've inspired so many people, and it's just like, it's so crazy to have like little kids come up to me, and they really do look up to me. So
yeah.
it's really cool.
That'd be cool. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I guess like the little kids, that would be crazy. And then Charlie, what do you think? You know, do you want her to grow up to be a pole vaulter as well, or do you not really? You don't really
I mean,
care?
yeah, fingers crossed. Like, I want her to be a pole vaulter, but obviously, I'm down for whatever she wants to do. So, yeah.
Okay. Well, that's all the time we have for today. Thanks again for joining us. Coming up, we'll have a group discussion about what's happened this week in sports and what's coming up. Stay tuned.
Welcome back to Home Field Advantage. It's that time again for the debate. Yes, I am joined by Nathan here and Daryl. And Nathan, this is your second time in the debate now. They must like you or something.
I'm 1-0, looking for 2-0.
Oh, okay. Well, we don't really do the whole victory thing here, but okay.
I always win, T-Pain.
To each his own. To each his own. Welcome. This is your first time in the debate portion.
Yes, sir. It is. It is very exciting, extremely, most definitely.
Welcome.
Gonna have a lot to talk about.
Introductions done. Let's jump into it. You know that's the fun part, getting into it now. What happened last night? The World Series.
Oh, the
Kansas
glorious.
City Royals won it all last night in dramatic fashion.
Didn't see it coming. Honestly,
coming.
Going in, I thought, no way the Mets are going to lose this. I saw the Royals lose it last year. I thought, you know, I'm a big repetitive guy, so I thought the Royals were going to lose again this year. I thought the Mets had the best lineup. I thought the Mets had the best bullpen. And, man, they didn't execute. I was disappointed. I'm not going to lie to you.
It was just a last minute thing for the Royals. They came in at the last minute. They worked their butts off, and it's been years since they've been back to the championship, since 1985, if I'm not mistaken.
That's the last time they won it. They were there last year.
Was the last time they won the championship?
Last time they won was 1980. Yeah,
they came back from a 2-0, and they came back in the 12th inning and just dominated.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm proud of the guys. It was good baseball.
It was. It wasn't boring baseball. It was entertaining to watch. Especially, I mean, you didn't think. I mean, in the ninth inning, top of the ninth inning, I'm like, okay, Mets have it. Mets have it. They're up 2-0. Ninth inning, they're at home. Mets have it. We're going to Game 6. What happens? Leadoff walk, base stolen by Lorenzo Cain, then a double by Hosmer, and then Hosmer makes the amazing play. Honestly, at the time, I thought Hosmer was stupid, and I thought he lost the game for him. But he went home on that one just little small hit, tied the game up, and that's what happens.
Honestly, isn't that how a World Series goes, though? I mean, taking it back to the Texas Rangers, the ninth inning blur, to this year's ninth inning, game decision time for the Royals to win. It's how the World Series goes. At the perfect stage, the perfect game, the perfect ending.
Right. Well, I'm happy. Personally, I didn't want Kansas City to win. I'll be out there and say it. I didn't want them to win, but they did, and respect to them. They won. They are world champions.
Most definitely. Congratulations to Kansas City.
Yeah. We'll move on now to something a little closer to home. We had homecoming this past weekend, which was fantastic. The festivities and everything were great. But let's get down to business. The football game.
Oh, yeah.
We got to win.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
We won.
Another one.
Another win. That's 3 in a row.
Another one. That's on the
Another
street.
one.
They're on
Three
it.
in
They're
a
on
row.
it.
Thank you, Incarnate Word.
Yeah, thank you very much. I had to say it. I called it last week.
Right.
I called it last week. I said, if Zach Conk and the Lumberjacks can hold on to the ball, which I'm not going to say they did. There were a few turnovers, but for the most part, they held on to the ball, and they won. And I said their defense needs to stop the running back for Junebugs, what they call him, at Incarnate Word. Junebug. They had to stop Junebug, and they did. Incarnate Word had 281 total yards.
Passing and rushing.
Yep.
Yeah.
But
Wow.
Zach threw for 256 yards.
By himself?
By himself.
Zach Conk almost had more yards than an Incarnate Word total.
4 touchdowns.
Wow.
So it doesn't get any better than that. And someone asked me last week who did I think was going to win. They were like, is they going to win today on Saturday? And I was like, most definitely they're going to win. It's homecoming. They shouldn't lose. They're playing Incarnate Word. Even though Incarnate Word was a pretty good team, SFA also came out with a big win. Oh, yeah, always.
Do you think Zach Conk proved his critics wrong? You think he's got the starting spot back?
Not yet.
Not yet.
That's one game.
That's
one game.
That's one game. But, Zach has been a starting quarterback since last year. Everybody makes mistakes. Michael Jordan made mistakes, But, Zach Conk
Fast comparison.
Yeah. Hey, most definitely. But everyone makes mistakes, So, therefore, I feel like Zach Conk has proved himself that he can be the starting quarterback once again.
Yeah, I'm not saying that he shouldn't be starting. Absolutely not. Fantastic player. That's one game, but I think he's got it though. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Still sticking with college football here. How about that Miami Duke ending?
Oh wow.
Wow. Oh my goodness! If I was the head coach of Duke, I'd be pulling my hair out still.
Yeah, I think. Yeah.
Miami had they deserved their win. They deserved their win. They went full out with some backyard, old school backyard football, and they came out with the win with 49 seconds. 49 seconds.
It was a 49-second play.
49-second
but they kicked it off at 6-second mark.
Right.
It's funny you said that they're like a school, like a scrappy schoolyard team, because the coach was an interview after the game. He was saying, yeah, literally this week in practice, we were talking about how we were that kind of team. We're the kind of team that we didn't, we want to go out there and have fun, be scrappy, kind of like a schoolyard team. The thing I like about this game is, first of all, amazing finish. College football success. Second of all, this was Miami's coach. This was his first game. He's an intern coach. This was his first game, and he won in that fashion. They practiced the laterals. They practiced the laterals, and they actually got to use them. What?
Duke's defense actually prepared for this. Duke's special team coach did a great job of preparing them for Miami because they knew that they were playing Miami, which they're going to pull out all the stops to get the W. Poor execution, no tackling. It was unbelievable. Honestly, I don't think Miami should have got the win. Everybody saw laundry on the field.
Yeah, yellow laundry.
The back calls, the knee touching the ground. Are you kidding me?
No,
Miami
no,
won?
They used 8 laterals to score that touchdown.
The block in the back, though, they reviewed it for 9 minutes.
9 minutes.
After the touchdown was scored. 9-minute review, and they still said it was a touchdown.
And they also said the
how do you go against that when they reviewed it for that long?
I've seen balls bounce off the turf, and they call them catches.
But were those reviewed for 9 minutes?
Booth reviews or whatever the refs are feeling that day.
That's true.
For something to be reviewed for 9 minutes and still with no penalty in there, it shouldn't have been called for. They should have just let it alone.
I'm okay with it.
So you think Miami deserved that victory?
Yes, most definitely. To go with the 49-second play.
With 8 laterals, 49 seconds, fielded at their own 25-yard line. The football got back to their own 6-yard line at one point.
A tied game at the end of the
fourth
fourth quarter.
all the way back?
Oh, y'all are ridiculous.
Oh,
we're
ridiculous.
So he would have
We're
scored.
ridiculous.
So he would have scored without all the penalties. He would have.
Oh, absolutely.
Most definitely.
Okay.
Most definitely.
There was one block that they said might have been blocking the back, and they reviewed it like I said.
And if you look at the other blocks,
go look at the film. Go look at the film, and there were enough blocks for you to make it. Anyway, let's stop arguing over this one, and we'll argue about something else now. Dallas Cowboys, and how about their on-field and off-field antics?
I can't stand the Cowgirls.
See, that's why I'm happy.
I can't stand the Cowgirls. This is my heart when people talk about Houston, Texas. But that's a whole different subject right there. But we're gonna go back to the Cowgirls as we were talking of.
Oh, I'm happy to hear.
There was a lot of big situations, a lot of miscommunications on the field. Let's start with Des Bryant. You know, they claimed that he was exchanging a few words that wasn't very, good for football purposes. In the locker room and on the field.
In the Dallas Cowboys locker room,
where
the football players are supposed to be, the head coaches, where they change. After a tough loss like that, I wouldn't want to see my mother.
It wasn't even the fact about the loss. It was what the media accused Des Bryant. They accused him of talking bad to one of the football players at the end of the game. Well, as he got his concussion as he rolled off the field.
Talking about what football player?
Yeah, Lockett from Seattle Seahawks.
Oh, my goodness.
It was a vicious block by Jeff Heath.
Yeah.
Vicious block.
Vicious block, all legal.
But what the problem was is that they accused Des Bryant of his change of profanity with this guy as he was getting carted off the field.
If that's true, I'm sorry. I'm going to come out and say it. That's classless.
Right.
Yeah, that's classless, but...
That's the Cowgirls for you.
But who knows who Des Bryant was talking to? You honestly believe Des Bryant, the guy who's magnified tenfold, more than anybody else in the NFL, would go as low as using profanity towards somebody being carted off the field?
See, I stopped taking Des Bryant. I stopped taking Des Bryant serious when he bought that monkey.
Oh,
that's when I stopped taking Des Bryant serious. After he brought the monkey and named it Dallas.
We're bringing Dallas Bryant into this.
Dallas Bryant, a monkey?
What about Greg Hardy, though? You can't forget about the man, the
Greg
monster.
Hardy. Greg Hardy.
That's a whole different story.
What do you say about that?
That is a whole different story.
It's a whole different story. But I mean, I'm not a Cowboy fan, but I enjoy seeing my city do well.
You respect it. You respect the team.
I respect that. And Greg Hardy shoving a coach, like what you said, it's classless. It shouldn't be done. It doesn't matter if you're Tom Brady and the Patriots. You should not be pushing a coach, especially when you're brand new on the scene in Dallas.
And for his past, let's be honest.
Yeah,
everybody, that happened, and they say, oh, that happened, but say that was somebody else. Say that was J.J. Watt that pushed the coach. Oh, he's just in the moment. He's just in the game. He's ready to, he wants to get in there. But then it's Greg Hardy.
Yeah.
And you look at his past, and you say, oh, no, he's violent. He's angry, he's violent. He wants to hurt someone.
It's like saying Ndamukong Suh step on somebody for, the 9th time.
Yeah.
It's just that Suh, he's a dirty guy. And honestly, me being on the dirtbag kind of subject, I do miss old school football. And when it's time,
when you can hit someone,
when there's the right timing, I think football lacks the dirtbag football players. And I think that there needs to be more Ndamukong Suhs, guys that should be feared.
Go back to the old Raiders, right? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, those guys were
old Raiders.
They won the game before they stepped on the field.
Well, let's go on to that other football team in Texas, the Houston Texans, real quick.
Oh yeah.
And how their record, where they are, and they're still in contention for the division.
Well, because that's the division. Look at who's in the division.
See, let's not pull that off because everybody comes off with this the division nonsense. The Colts took away Andre Johnson. They they're supposed to have a power team, you know. But at the end of the day, they're still tied with the same record as us, and they're above us. And we're second, they're first, but still, it's not because of our division, you know.
What's sad and what should be scary is that the Houston Texans, sooner or later, are going to have to climb out of that division and face tough teams.
They'll be ready.
Put 41 on them.
They will be ready. And it happened to them before. It happened to them last week against the Miami Dolphins.
We'll see.
You know, so they're gonna learn from their mistakes and they're gonna improve. I guarantee you. I guarantee you. Just a young franchise. Just a young franchise.
We'll see.
Well, that's, like you said, we'll see.
Yes.
We'll see what happens with the rest of the season. How about that? All right.
Yeah, most definitely.
All right. Well, that's all the time we have for today. Be sure to follow us on Twitter at SFA_HFA for the latest updates on the Lumberjacks and from around the state. And be sure to nominate a student athlete you know for our weekly Aspire for Greatness Award. We will highlight the winner on next week's show for excelling beyond the field, whether that be in the community, classroom, in their family life, or otherwise. Just tag them with the hashtag Aspire for Greatness. This week's winner, and featured earlier in the show, is Demi Payne. Demi, while breaking numerous records at the pole vault position, has also made it onto the Dean's List and is raising a child of her own. The type of integrity in the classroom, at home, and on the track is what it truly means to be a lumberjack. And we appreciate her truly aspiring for greatness. We'll be back next week with all of your latest SFA, local, state, and nationwide sports news. I'm Bobby Morrow, and I'll see you next week on Home Field Advantage.